Anthony Stark, aka Tony Stark, is seriously one of the greatest written characters of all time. In the MCU, of course, comics, I don't know, he's dibble dabble, but I'm not afraid to say the MCU did an astonishing job with him. Thanks to Robert Downey Jr. and Kevin Feige, Iron Man grew from being a C-list character to a B-list character to a superhero up there with Batman and Superman and Marvel's greatest hero, Spider-Man. This is Nightstar Arts, and we're going to explain why Iron Man is one of the best badasses in superheroes and character writing. Let's get it on. Tony Stark started off as the typical naive, self-mattered character until life blew up in his face. And at that point, Tony learned the seriousness of a real world, from living a rich boy life with no worries in the world to almost being Michael Bayed is a pretty drastic change of livelihood. Tony Stark almost lost his life to the very weapons his company made. But what pissed him off even more is the harm they were causing to others. And what pushed them to the brink is when you find someone like family encouraging it. Obadiah, that traitor. This anger was hammered into a metal form, creating the hero we know as Iron Man. Everything Tony saw that he needed to fix changed him completely, becoming a hero for greater good, and like every hero, fame comes along, and Tony Stark was already famous, so becoming a hero isn't all too fun though. The seriousness kicks in really hard, and Iron Man 2 really established this. Unlike other superheroes, Tony Stark doesn't keep his identity hidden. So securing his role as a hero was of course more easy and difficult for him. What makes Tony interesting is after Iron Man 1, he learns that technology could be very dangerous in the wrong hands, and he holds on to this method later on throughout the MCU. Mentality. And I kinda don't blame him. After it was literally revealed that Hydra has been controlling a little bit of the US government and Captain America the Winter Soldier for quite some time, I don't blame him. In fact, I think one of the senators in Iron Man 2 was revealed to be part of Hydra, so When Tony became Iron Man, it was kind of a huge hit to everyone. Pepper, Rhodey, Baldy. What I like about it is, every story where the main character does something amazing, all the characters react. But I'm just glad that the side characters in this movie, they've really changed with Tony throughout the MCU as well. And the first thing that came to everyone's minds after what Tony did and after he announced himself as Iron Man is what are his next moves as Iron Man? Well, stopping his company from producing weapons, keeping the tech only secret to him and his allies, and protecting a long female friend of his. That's what he did. But it doesn't stop there for Tony. In Avengers 1, the audience is reminded that Tony isn't that type of hero, at least not yet. He's still obnoxious and just not ready to face the real world of things yet. He's there, but not totally there. But am I right? No. At the end of Avengers 1, Tony almost nearly killed himself saving the Earth from the Chitauri army in the first Avenger films, proving that despite his obnoxious behavior, he truly can stand up to being a hero. While Iron Man 1 to Avengers 1 showed us Tony is more than just a human, after Phase 1, all we've seen after that was how Tony is more human than hero. After the Battle of New York, he suffers from panic attacks, PTSD, and disturbing his fight with Aldrich Killian and the rest of AIM. Despite Iron Man 3 not being what everyone wanted, it was a nice milestone in Tony Stark's life. And with Iron Man 3, we can mention Avengers Age of Ultron. Both films not great as we all expected, but both these films did a great job in developing Tony's character a hell of a lot more. Despite Tony's childish behavior, he still is smart and mature and is aware of the limits he has.
Gods, aliens, other dimensions, I'm just a man in a can.
The only reason I haven't cracked up is probably because you moved in.
That is why he created Ultron. Tony knows Iron Man is machine and man, but someday the man inside Iron Man will fall, and then there will be nothing behind the power of the machine. Iron Man is not immortal or invincible, as the comics describe him as, and neither is Tony Stark. The Ultron program was not just to help Tony, but help Iron Man and the Avengers keep control over the Earth, over an eternal lifespan. Just didn't work out. It's completely understandable why Tony created Ultron though, and why back in Iron Man 2 to Iron Man 3, he keeps his friends out of the loop about many things. When you're a smart being, you're constantly thinking of what your next move should be, and should it be your last? Will it be your last if you don't make good judgment? This became part of Tony's personality after Avengers 1, and it became part of his mentality. And in fact, I stand corrected. It started, in fact, with Avengers 1 when Tony started thinking like this.
You're not the guy to make the sacrifice play, to lay down on a wire and let the other guy crawl over you.
I think I would just cut the wire.
Now let's talk about Tony's obnoxious behavior. Tony's just like any rich person you can find. He's spoiled in a good way, can act arrogant, and the reason I bring this up is because this leads to the character facing consequences arc. Most characters in stories go through the consequence phase, either through the main bad guy or by their very own bad luck. Tony suffers from both, with Thanos being one and then the other his own bad luck. As a character, Tony is not perfect. He has flaws everywhere, and despite him fighting to overcome these flaws, it still brings him from being 5 steps forward to 20 steps back. This is the reason Tony and Rhodey fight in Iron Man 2. Tony is an irresponsible character and often brings his recklessness onto others. But the thing is about him is, he does not do it personally or intentionally. Tony knows he's just human. He has limits like any other human being.
Gods, aliens, other dimensions. I'm just a man in a can.
Hence why he became Iron Man, because with the limits as a man, being half machine allows him to overcome those limits. But even then, Tony still has limits and he knows when he meets his match. Tony's not a smartass nor a dumbass. Well, he is a smartass most of the time. He knows when crap is about to hit the fan. Try not to swear too much, although I swore in previous videos. In Iron Man 3 to Avengers Endgame, it gives us the perfect reason why through Phase 2 and Phase 3, he may have appeared dickish sometimes, but it all makes sense. When you stop and think about it, why he's done the things he's done, it really does make sense. Let's make a quick retrospective. Tony saw in Iron Man 1 what his weapons could do in the wrong hands, which caused him to become Iron Man in the first place. And to put a stop to that, moving onwards, he stopped producing weapons and made one last weapon from Stark Company, his ultimate weapon, the Iron Man suit, and kept it away from the world except for his best friend. He at first refused to become a full-fledged superhero, being aware of a dangerous path it can lead to. After experiencing the first step as a hero, he slows down and slowly repairs himself back together and regroup and categorize, and even then he's still suffering. To find a way to keep this internal suffering at bay, he creates his version of a cure, antidote, solution, and creates an AI program, artificial intelligence program, which almost caused global extinction. He then backed off again and regrouped. Then when he sees how being a full-fledged superhuman being with free will can cause damaging effects, he regroups again, slows down, repairs himself back up. Then after being broken down again, he slows down again and tries to help others from not repeating mistakes he has. Then the Big Bang comes and it's time for Tony to stand, and he almost dies doing it. And in the end, he does wind up dying. After all that building, being broken down, repairing, building, broken down, repairing, it just becomes exhausting. It becomes gloomy and hopeless. And this is a repeating arc in Tony's character. This is Tony Stark's character. This is his arc. Tony's aware that this is the cycle of a hero that you can't break out of, which is why he tried as many times as he can to prevent himself from continuing the cycle. Remember, this dude grew up thinking his dad hated him and only his mom had unconditional love for him, until he found out his father did love him and thought as Tony as his ultimate creation. This right here is what led Tony to become the hero he is. But this is what also led him to not just become a hero, but the founder for the rest of the heroes in the Marvel Universe. Tony is one of the founding fathers of the Avengers team. And he's alongside Captain America in 4, but starting from the MCU, let's be honest, he's the first founding father. I mean, in Endgame, he was even part of the Avengers Trinity that faced off against Thanos. The MCU created a generic hero into one of the most well-known written characters of all time. Back when I was a little kid, I didn't know nothing about Iron Man. All I really knew was Spider-Man, Hulk, and Wolverine. I had a little toy of Captain America, but I didn't really know Captain America like that. Nor did I know the Iron Man. I really only know Fantastic Four, the X-Men, Spider-Man, and Hulk. I didn't know nothing about Iron Man, but the MCU just brought this guy from metal. They turned him from a silver comic to a golden comic, from just a silver character to a golden character that everyone knows. From a man who rises from naive to passion, to destruction, to creation, that is a huge level up. And we gotta give thanks to Robert Downey's portrayal of a character he is to Iron Man. He is to what Iron Man is, what Hugh Jackman and Tobey Maguire were to their respective heroes. Who is this person? Is he a machine or mortal? Is he metal or man? He is the armored Avenger. He is Iron Man.
When he's backed into the corner of uncertainty, he takes the heat to the next degree. He's more than a hero, believe what you see. He's Iron Man.
Hey guys, this is Nightstar Arts. Thank you for watching the video. For support, feel free to hit the like button and not subscribe. I'm not going to be like other people where I basically beg to subscribe because I know that's annoying. You feel free to. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. But if you do want to support, feel free to hit the like button. And like I said, don't subscribe. I don't want to force anyone. And I don't want to ask for subscribers because that gets annoying. But if you want to show support, go ahead for more videos like this. I'm Nightstar and I'm out.